we have ensured that this amazing, abundant talent, abundant human capital that we have converted it into a huge, huge pile of worker bees, and not as somebody who thinks of creating wealth, of somebody who can create jobs, of somebody who can create free market enterprises which will thrive and compete with the best in the world. Unfortunately, in the last 75 years of independence, name one single brand from India that has come out which is truly having a global appeal. A real original Indian brand that truly has a brand appeal across the world. If you ask me, look around. You will be holding an Apple phone. You will be holding a Sony phone or a Samsung phone or one of those amazing brands. You must have come in a Toyota or a Honda or even a Suzuki, I don't know, BMW, Mercedes. All of these brands are alien. All of these brands are alien and have been created by small countries, a very small sized population. If you think for a minute, what is Taiwan famous for? Taiwan is famous for semiconductors. Taiwan is famous for electronics. What is Singapore famous for? A small country with about, I think, less than the size of Hyderabad. Half the population of Hyderabad is today almost $1 trillion economy. So what are we talking about here? Singapore can be $1 trillion economy, and a country like India is still dreaming and still talking about $5 trillion. It will happen. 5 trillion will happen. No matter if there is a government in Delhi or Hyderabad, it will happen. Even if there is no government, even if there is no prime minister, even if there is no chief minister, the 5 trillion dream will happen. It doesn't take a government to make that happen. Because it is the industry, it is the private sector, it is the people of this great nation that actually will make it happen. But the question that we need to ask ourselves is, are our leaders, is the leadership of this great nation, in fact, giving us a vision of reaching that $25 trillion or $30 trillion or being the highest per capita in the world? It's not about the 5 trillion size. It's about the per capita, how the wealth is distributed among its citizens. On the one hand, India has some of the richest people in the world. The richest. If you look at the top 10 index, I think there are 2 or 3 Indians. I think one of them has slipped out of top 10 yesterday, but that's a different story. But on the other hand, we also are the nation with the maximum number of poor people on the planet. So unless the wealth is distributed equitably, unless, I'm not preaching socialism, I'm not preaching communism. All I'm saying is, when the Honorable Prime Minister himself says, a freebie culture, revdi culture, theek nahi hai. Let me remind all of you in this room, we are still a third world country with the maximum number of poor people on the planet. While 5 trillion, 10 trillion goals are laudable, ambitious, noteworthy, praiseworthy, the fact remains, unless a government in India, every government in India, takes care of its most vulnerable, there will come a day when civil strife will ensue. And all those who are sitting here in the comforts of this wonderful auditorium will not be able to have such meetings if there is civil strife. So it is the bounden responsibility, it is the fundamental responsibility of every single government in this great nation to ensure that while the economy grows, the wealth also gets distributed. While the economy grows, the most vulnerable is also taken care of, and ensure that development and welfare go hand in hand. Now in Telangana, we have done exactly that. In the last 8 years, just to give you numbers, our per capita in 2014 in Telangana was 1,24,000 rupees. As of June last year, it rose to 2,78,000 rupees. When the national average, national per capita is only 1,49,000 rupees, Telangana's per capita is 2,78,000 rupees. The GSDP of Telangana was 5 lakh crores in 2014. As of June last year, it rose to 11.55 lakh crores. If I have to sum it up in one line, because we are talking about the 5 trillion economy, if the rest of India performed as well as Telangana did, we would have already been a 4.6 trillion economy today. That's how well Telangana has grown over the last 8 years. We grew at 15% compounded annual growth rate. We are a state in terms of population, we are only 2.5% of India, but we contribute 5% to the GDP of India. So we are literally a 50-kilo boxer fighting in a 100-kilo category. We are punching double our weight. That's what I meant when I said people management. That's what I meant when I said expectations management, alignment of expectation with those of the needs of the people is important. In Telangana, we focused on the 3I mantra: innovation, infrastructure, inclusive growth. We ensured that all these three I's went hand in hand to ensure a fourth I, that is India, also raised along with us. On innovation, when I say innovation, a lot of people think startups. I don't just mean startups. Innovation can come from within the government in terms of new policy making. In Telangana, because I know there are a lot of chief executives also in the room, let me point out, we've innovated with our policy making. The first piece of legislation that we have drafted in the new state of Telangana in 2014 October was the TS iPass. TS iPass literally stands for the Telangana State Industrial Project Approval Self-Certification System. What does it mean? I'll just give you three salient features of it. If you, as a chief executive, had to launch a new operation or a new factory in my state, you actually don't need to get a clearance from the government. You don't need an approval from the government. You don't need an approval from the local municipality. You don't need an approval from the local village panchayat. You can hit the ground running. If you have a piece of land that is already allocated to you, you can start the construction of your factory on day one by self-certifying yourselves that you will be in compliance with the law of the land. What we seek of you, though, because we need to also ensure regulatory compliance is met with, we seek that you submit all details: the nature of business, the investment, the employment potential, the taxes you would be paying, etc., the category of industry, etc., on the TS iPass portal. When we receive all that information on the portal, we promise all clearances by statute, backed by legislation, in a span of 15 days. If we don't deliver on the 15-day promise, on the 16th day, it's a deemed approval, it's an automatic approval. No state in India will tell you this. No other state in India will tell you this. On the 16th day also, this TS iPass legislation gives me a handle to penalize even my senior bureaucracy, senior bureaucrats, with a penalty of rupees 1,000 per day if they are held responsible for holding up the clearances. Again, no other Indian state has done this in the last 75 years. For those of you who are wondering, is this too good to be true, or does it actually work in reality? Or since this guy is a politician wearing a white shirt, is he just BSing his way through? Let me tell you, in the last 8.5 years, we've been able to raise more than $47 billion of investment, have given more than 21,920 plus clearances through the TS iPass portal, have been able to create more than 2.1 million direct job potential, 21 lakh direct job potential in this state, and some amazing marquee names have come through this process in the last 8.5 years. Did you know that Amazon's world's largest campus is not in Seattle? It is actually in the city of Hyderabad and state of Telangana. Did you know that Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Uber, Micron, ServiceNow, Qualcomm, Novartis, all of their second largest campuses in the world, Medtronic's second largest campuses in the world, are in this city of Hyderabad, in Telangana. Did you know that we produce 1/3 of world vaccines from this brilliant city of ours, Hyderabad? We are the vaccine capital of the world, not India. We produce 40% of pharmaceuticals for India. We also produce 1/3 of vaccines for the world. So this growth story that I was just talking about, of how well Telangana has done, not just in industry. While industry has been growing, Telangana's environmental goals also have not been compromised on. 7.7% is the growth of green cover in Telangana in the last 7 years, highest in the country. So this is the kind of well-rounded development I was talking about. Industry not at the cost of environment. IT has been growing. Our IT exports were 57,000 crores in 2014. As of last year, they rose to 1,83,000 crore. IT has been growing, but so has agriculture. Our agriculture has grown at 119%. Our paddy production in 2014 was 68 lakh metric tons. In 2022, it rose to 3.5 crore metric tons. We are the only state in India to have completed an amazing drinking water project of providing a portable drinking water connection to each and every one of our 1 crore homes, even before the government of India woke up, under a project called as Mission Bhagirath. In 75 years, we were the first state in India who had accomplished that. While drinking water has been taken care of, let me also indulge you for a minute. Those of you who are trigger happy, I request you to pull out your phones for a minute. Please do. Please Google. Please Google. World's largest lift irrigation project. And please tell me the answer, one of you, after you Google. World's largest lift irrigation project. Kaleshwaram project in Telangana. We literally lift a river from 80 meters above sea level all the way to 618 meters above sea level. We talk about three gorges, we talk about Chinese execution, etc., etc. But the fact is, the wonderful engineering human capital that we have in the state of Telangana were able to accomplish, the youngest state of India was able to accomplish an engineering feat of commissioning the world's largest lift irrigation project in a flat 4 years of time span. Now that's a record in itself, and that's why I call my state the most successful startup state of India, not because we had capital, not because we had resources, but because we had amazing human capital, and but because our Honorable Chief Minister recognizes the grassroots problems, has ensured that these amazing human resources were deployed in a logical fashion, in a methodical fashion to achieve these goals. So once again, when I have to talk about Hyderabad and how it can catalyze 5 trillion economy, I'll only say one thing. If only the rest of India can work like Telangana, if only the rest of India can be led by a leader like KCR, then I think 5 trillion is a joke. We'll actually reach a 15 trillion economy in the soonest possible time. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Jai Telangana.
Just stay for a few minutes. Thank you, sir. Really very, very inspiring. And Nathan actually started the whole talk with the best city in the country to live is Hyderabad.